and welcome back to my channel. I haven't actually, this video is a little bit impromptu, but I'm filming today on a Thursday, but I'm going to be releasing it on next week. I just thought I would do it now, because I'm going on an outing next week and I don't really have much time to prepare videos this week because it's a bit hectic, so I just thought I'd just like speak to the camera and do a sort of like impromptu one. I wanted to talk today because I remember, I think one of you said you wanted to hear a little bit more like about sensory issues in autism, or like my experience of them, and also I think sort of like other stuff in autism that isn't like directly connected to the social side, maybe that people are a bit less aware of and things like that. So that's what I would like to talk about today, really. Obviously everyone's different, so everyone has different experiences of these things, so what I'm talking about really only applies to me because everyone's so very different and is affected in such different ways. Now, obviously, I grew up. I got diagnosed when I was 21 years old, as I've talked about in my other videos. So when I was growing up, obviously, I didn't have the language. I didn't have the awareness of I didn't really have the insight, I guess, as to how these things really affected me. I just felt like out of the loop from everyone else, because obviously I really struggled making friends and everything, and struggled at school with, just with learning in general, as I've talked about elsewhere, but I didn't really think too deeply about the causes behind these things. I just knew that I had, I just struggled with, struggled without kind of thinking why was I struggling, if that makes sense. From a young age, I've always been very scared, very frightened of sudden loud noises, sort of noises that come at me unexpectedly, suddenly, just generally any noise that I'm not in control of. I've always had this problem with that, from a very young age. In terms of when I was a child, obviously I was scared of balloons popping, it's sort of I still am actually, but I don't actually go near balloons anymore, so that's alright. But yeah, because obviously when you've got a balloon, you don't know whether it's suddenly going to pop. Guys get kind of unexpected. It could suddenly pop again. It's like a really loud noise, and it startles me. It shocks me. And also, I used to be absolutely terrified of party crackers. The ones you pull, got party crackers for ages. I'm not scared of party crackers anymore. I can pull party crackers now, but for a long time, when I was a child, I was really scared of them. And also fireworks. As a child, and I still am, but particularly as a child, I was absolutely terrified of fireworks. I remember at primary school when I really wanted to go to the firework displays. I didn't actually realise at that point I was terrified of them, because I just thought in my naivety that I would enjoy it. So I encouraged my parents to take me to the firework display, but I was absolutely terrified when they went off. And I remember I ran inside school when I was hiding in the toilets and crying, and then basically I got my parents to go home. I literally was dragging them home and trying to run home because I was absolutely terrified. I was still terrified even when we were away from school and I could still hear them going off, but I was absolutely terrified. So that didn't go down well. I still don't like fireworks. Well, I've always been scared of them. From a safe distance, it's alright. Just about okay now, but I still don't like them because they go off suddenly. And now we're approaching fireworks season, so I'm a bit nervous. I try and be indoors as much as possible. I walk with my fingers in my ears when they might go off, because I absolutely hate them. Because they just go off so suddenly, and it's just that sudden bang. It really terrifies me. I've got I think I've got a really strong startle reflex. Like most people, they get habituated to sounds, whereas for me, I don't get habituated. If anything, the longer I'm exposed to a sound, the more stressed I get. So that's again, even the more sensitive I get. It's almost like it just doesn't go down for me. If anything, it gets even worse. So I can't habituate to sounds. If anything, they trigger in a stress response, and then it actually makes me even more sensitive. So if I've had bad experiences with noise, most people habituate over time, whereas to me it becomes a real negative memory. So again, when I'm then exposed to that same noise again, it's even worse the next time round, and I get even more sensitive. So it kind of has the inverse what most people would expect. They always say, oh, habituate, desensitize. It doesn't work for me. It just gets worse. So I need to be careful about what sort of environments and noises I expose myself to, because it could actually make my sensitivities even worse. And that has happened. So there's that. So noise, for me, noise is my main sensory issue. That is the main source of stress for me. If I say if I'm in control of a sort of noise, obviously if it's my own noise, it doesn't affect me. If I've made a noise, it doesn't affect me. Maybe it's a little bit like, you don't tend to, when you tickle yourself or when you pinch yourself, it doesn't hurt. So I think it's something like that. When you're creating your own noise, it's not painful because you're like in control of it. But it's like when someone else tickles you or pinches you and it hurts. The same if it's someone else's noise and I'm not in control of it and I don't know when it's going to happen, then that really stresses me out. So yeah, first of all, I've got a really strong startle reflex, but also I can't block out noise. I can't filter noise. I don't have our ability that other people's normals, I guess, seemingly have. I don't know how they do it. It absolutely baffles me. To kind of, for example, read with noise all around them. It's like, how the hell can they concentrate? I do not get that at all. For me, if there's the smallest noise, it doesn't even need to be that big. For most people, most people might not think it's that big, but like the smallest noise, someone talking in another room, I just focus on the noise, and I can't concentrate. I can't focus on what I'm supposed to be doing. So it's like my brain will just focus on the other noise and literally will not do the work or focus on what I'm supposed to be doing. It's really hard work, it's really stressful. And I think that's why, obviously part of the reason, obviously there are other reasons, but part of the reasons why I found it so hard to concentrate and focus at school. And teachers would always say, well, particularly at primary school, that I had my head in the clouds because I was always just staring out the window. But I mean, I couldn't really focus in the classroom with all that noise going on and stuff. And also, I do remember that my sleep has also always been a bit up and down. I think, again, it's connected to the noise issue. When I was a child, I didn't really again, it comes back to I didn't really think why it was, but from about the age of 8 or 9, I realised that if I put my fingers in my ears, it would help me sleep a lot better. So I started sleeping with my fingers in my ears around that time, as I've suddenly got control over it now. I seem to improve a little bit, funny enough, when I was a teenager for some reason. Again, it kind of came back again. I don't know what that's all about. It does seem to come back. There are moments when I seem to be more sensitive, at other times maybe, I don't know, it does change through the lifespan, I think, a bit as well. If anything, I think in some areas I've actually become more sensitive with age, but it comes back down to that thing about not habituating, and it's like each noise becomes etched as this kind of stress. It almost like then makes your brain even more stressed. Like maybe it's like the accumulative effect as well of like increasingly being exposed to noise and just having less and less ability to deal with it. I think also as you get older, maybe it's also the fact that your life in general becomes more stressful as well, and you have like more other things to do. And as I'm older, like my life isn't as structured as it used to be, so there's that as well. But so some parts of it, some aspects have got better, but other aspects have got worse. So it's kind of up and down. But yeah, as I say, so noise is the main one. I also am quite sensitive towards lights as well, but again, it depends on the context. I can deal with some lights. It's definitely a context, is a weird one. Sometimes in some environments, like the light is really distracting, and I remember when I was at secondary school, I used to often feel really, really tired. Particularly on those dark days in winter where like all the lights were on in the school, and it made me feel really tired. And I didn't know why it was. It's only now I realise it must have been the lights, because whenever I'm in an environment where there's really bright lights, it makes me feel really tired. But it's only later on I've actually realised what that's all about, because I never really put two and two together. Never like disco lights or anything like that. And also on sort of very, very sort of like bright days where it's really very, very bright, that can make, that sky can make me feel tired. It also gives me a headache sometimes. I hate that. Generally I prefer sort of like cloudy days when it's not too bright. So yeah, there's that one. And also, I don't know if this is directly connected. It might not be. I don't know if it comes under the bracket of sensory stuff or not. I don't know. But also, sorry, because I haven't taken notes. I'm just talking to camera. So excuse me if I'm a bit sly. You can get my thoughts together. What was I actually saying? Also things like, particularly when I was at school, I really struggled with things like spatial awareness, as was written on my my report, because that's the main thing that's flagged up when I was at school. Was like difficulties with spatial awareness. But I would like to move on now to video number 2, because I like to talk about that more in video number 2. So moving on to video number 2 now.